I mean, is there anything else to talk about? There's very little to talk about. There's stuff to talk about. But dominating every headline, every website, every clickbait story is Mayweather versus McGregor. And today, the Nevada State Athletic Commission voted to allow this one-time exception to the rule, right? So from 147 pounds down, you can use 10-ounce or 8-ounce gloves. This fight is at 154 pounds. You're supposed to use 10-ounce gloves, but Nevada has just allowed them to use 8-ounce gloves. Fred, everyone's saying this is a huge win for Conor McGregor as far as his chances in the fight. What do you think?
Listen, I don't know if I'd go as far as to say it's a huge win for Conor in the fight. To be quite honest with you, I don't know how much of a major difference this will actually have on the fight. It helps. Make no mistake about it. The gloves being a cunt hair smaller means that Conor's chances are, a cunt hair better in actually knocking Floyd out. But it doesn't change too terribly much. I'll tell you what I got out of this. What I got out of this is what an utter fucking joke the Nevada State Athletic Commission is. I mean, I tell you what, if Floyd trounced in there and whipped his little black snake out and said, somebody better suck this thing or I'm not fighting in Nevada, I got half a mind to believe that somebody get down there and start sucking his goddamn dick. Because this is some bull. Let me tell you something, Jack. Make no mistake about it. If there is a win for this, I would say it's for McGregor. Having smaller gloves, it's a thing. I am a McGregor guy. We are all MMA heads. I would imagine that, somewhere in our heart of hearts, even if you guys hate McGregor in the MMA realm, we're going to be team fucking McGregor that night. That being said, let's just take a step back and look at this situation logically for a brief moment here without our MMA blinders on. Let's just think of the worst case scenario for a brief moment. Let's let ourselves think of what could go terribly wrong here, okay? We got a 49-0 boxer, quite possibly the best boxer of all time, taking on a guy who is 0-0. And then, what the fuck, 10 days before the fight, the fucking State Athletic Commission decides to make the gloves 2 ounces smaller, something they've never done before. Now, let's just say for the sake of argument, that Conor gets stretched. However unlikely it might be, let's say Floyd beats the fuck out of Conor McGregor and knocks him unconscious, Bernard Hopkins style, out of the fucking ring in the 4th round, and Conor fucking hits his head or something. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, could they be sued? I mean, will they not look back and be like, whoa, what the fuck was we thinking? Now you got a guy who's never boxed before that you sanctioned to fight quite possibly the greatest of all time, and then fucking 10 days before the bout, you break all your own rules and make the gloves smaller for no apparent reason other than the fact that Floyd Mayweather got in a pissing match on Twitter. What in the fuck? I mean, again, being team MMA and team McGregor, I'm all for it. I'm sure Conor's all for it. But in the long run, this could prove to be detrimental to the Athletic Commission if things go south. And let's face it, they fucking could. Conor's never boxed before. I mean, yeah, he's had some good hands in MMA. Against who? Dustin Poirier and Eddie Alvarez? All due fucking respect. That don't mean shit for what he might do against Floyd Mayweather. He might get fucking trounced in there. So, I don't know. All in all, I don't think it makes that big of a difference in the fight, really. But the Nevada State Athletic Commission looks real thirsty right now. And really on some bullshit, quite frankly. I mean, they look like they can be bought. They look like hooers.
Exactly.
They look like $2 hooers. Like, if you got enough money, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do in Vegas. It takes a lot, but you can do it, clearly.
Yeah, and that's what I took away from it. I was because Murnell goes up there and he's like, Murnell, for those that don't know, he's on the board on NAC and on the commission. And he was saying he was talking about, we should do this. We could, it could be a one-time thing, whatever. We could make a study out of it, try to use that bullshit. And then he said, no. The best part was this to me, was when he goes, you know what? Frankly, I'm pissed off that we're being used as like a promotion tool for social media. You didn't sound that pissed off when you were suggesting it and make your emotion, motherfucker. You know what I mean? But you're right.
Yeah, no shit.
Something happens to either guy. And Jesse, chime in on this part if you want. Something happens to either guy. Nevada State Athletic Commission is going to be trampled. I mean, they're going to get just crushed, right?
Yeah, I mean, what Fred said. I mean, if you have set rules, there should be no reason to ever break these rules, especially when you have a guy that you should be protecting already from himself when he's an 0-0 boxer going up against a guy who has, just millenniums of, experience more than he does in this realm of boxing. That being said, though, I mean, I forget who brought up a point, if it was such a big point to try and get more things in Mayweather's favor, why didn't he make Conor cut down to 147? Make him cut those extra few pounds, try to put more in his favor. This to me just seems more like a promotional thing. Keep everybody talking about this fight. Because remember, we've had 3 weeks of lag between an event and when this fight is supposed to go down. And I think, Eddie, you said it on Twitter either today or yesterday. They've done a damn good job of keeping everybody talking about this. The hype for this hasn't gotten down. It's only actually grown because now they've added a new twist. Oh my God, now the gloves are lighter. Oh my God, now all these other possibilities. And, I mean, every time one of those clickbait stories goes up, I'm sure Mayweather, he just sees dollar bills, just cha-ching, 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 just he's counting the money already, and everybody's a part of it, right? So good on them. I just can't wait to see this fight go down. Finally, next week, let's do this, man.
Yeah, and the thing is, again, it's all promotion, all of it. It's beautiful. Like I said, I believe we did a show. I think the day they announced it, the day after they announced this, we did a show, and I remember saying that right now McGregor is this right here on the lower, and Mayweather's up here. Dude, little by little, the promotion's working because we're getting the odds are starting to come up like this, man. The odd was it McGregor's a plus 325, I believe. I think he's a plus 325. And a lot of it has to do with the bets, right? A lot of people are putting money on McGregor, but I mean it's a beautiful thing. But now, dude, they have people thinking this fight's almost even. You know what I mean? They legit have thinking that this fight's almost even. It's fucking kind of crazy.
You know what I'm about to do? I'm about to bet my youngest child on Floyd Mayweather. They've ran the odds down so much that this goes to show you, though, man. One thing I will give this cocksucking fight. We will look back on this in history, and for better or for worse, we will remember it. This has been a memorable thing from fucking start to finish, and we haven't even seen the fucking fight yet. It's definitely not boring, man. They keep it interesting this whole fucking time. What the fuck? Even the line. Conor supposedly has a better chance of beating Floyd than his last 6 opponents, including fucking Canelo Alvarez. What the fuck? Manny Pacquiao? What? Does Conor McGregor have better odds than Manny had? I think he does.
Maybe.
I think it might have been a little closer because people actually thought that Manny could beat him. But I know his odds are better than fucking Berto's or fucking Canelo's was, which is fucking ridiculous when you think about it.
Yeah, because look, and I think a lot of people putting weight on the fact, his movement and all this stuff and the left hand. Okay, granted. Right? He's a different kind of guy. He's going to move different than any boxer because he's not a boxer. You know what I mean? His stance is going to be weird.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on, man. Let me listen. I haven't spent a shitload of time in boxing gym, so I might not know what the fuck I'm talking about. Let me say that right from the jump street. Okay. But I hear a lot of people carrying on about this fucking movement. And don't get me wrong, I love it. As martial arts guys and MMA fans, we love talking about that fucking shit. The movement, him throwing the capoeira kicks, him fucking hopping around and doing all the weird shit with the fucking playing touch butt with that little creep in the park with the fucking hair, Ito, whatever the fuck. I love it. And quite frankly, I think it's all actually beneficial to an MMA match. I honestly don't know how much all this fucking unorthodox and his tricky movement is going to... You know how long they've been boxing? A long fucking time. There's been a lot of guys that have had a lot of fucking tricky movement. Just because most MMA heads have no fucking clue about boxing history doesn't mean that it didn't exist. And maybe not exactly like Conor, but I don't know if I'm willing to just think that Conor's going to come in and Floyd Mayweather's going to be baffled at his foot movement and his footwork and his head movement. I don't know how much that's going to matter. I hope it does, but I hear everybody saying it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different. Is it? Floyd's been boxing for fucking 40 years. Is Conor really going to bring something that different to the ring? And let me tell you something. If he brings something that different, he might get starched in the first round. He starts fucking bending over to his fucking knees trying to bob punches and shit, and Floyd might flat sleep him. I mean, the reality is, like I said, man, there's been hundreds of thousands of boxers throughout the time of boxing. There's a reason why nobody moves like that, and it's because it's probably not effective in a boxing ring.
Fred, whoa, man. You're not a real McGregor fan. You're not a real MMA fan, apparently, according to Brendan Schaub, the white knight of all white knights.
Oh,
because
God.
If you were a real McGregor fan, you would just blindly believe that McGregor is going to, like, utterly knock him out in the first few minutes of this round, and he's going to just be utterly great in this fight. Come on, man.
I hope for that. But the logical person, I mean, I've heard a lot of people, and not just Brendan Schwab. He's a fucking shitbird. I think he's literally trolling everybody at this point. That's just that's been his angle at this point leading up to it, arguing Conor's case. But I've heard a lot of people talk about his movement and how that could cause major problems for Floyd. And I'm just thinking, like, yo, Floyd has boxed, and think about all the guys that Floyd has sparred against. I mean, years and years in the fucking Mayweather gym named after fucking his lineage. This guy sparred a lot of guys. He's gotten a lot of looks in his day. And the thing is, all the fancy footwork that Conor has may translate very well to MMA, but I don't know if it translates to boxing. If it was, you'd think somebody would have been using these, you know. I don't think that Conor's going to come in and fucking rewrite boxing. As much as I like the guy, boxing's been around for a long fucking time, man. MMA, it does live in that creative space where you can kind of change the game. I don't know if boxing's like that.
No, but like I said, boxing has been around for a long, long time. And yeah, dude, fucking 49-0, man. What looks couldn't he have seen? I mean, McGregor might bring something he hasn't seen, hasn't seen yet. But Floyd's about letting you have the first couple of rounds or your first 3 rounds just to figure your ass out. As soon as he's got you figured out, it's fucking game over for you. It's what it is. But going off the commentary real quick, DQ says, do it, bet the child.
She has been being a fucking brat lately.
And then, I love that, bet the child. And then he says, Floyd isn't going to lose this fight. Everyone's saying he just has to catch him once. I laugh. And then how the fuck are his odds better than Maidana? There you go.
Right.
Actually, DQ was a boxer for 8 years, so he knows. Yeah, there you go. Gundez says, yeah, I love MMA, but I highly fucking doubt Conor wins this. And yeah, dude, it's kind of crazy. And it says, God damn it, Fred. Floyd was boxing in the womb.
I mean, seriously, he fucking was. I mean, Floyd got born into this, man. And like I said, man, in MMA, the creativity level is through the roof. In boxing, it's very small, man. There's only so much shit you can do. I mean, like I said, people carry on about Conor's foot movement. Jesus fucking Christ, man. He's not fucking Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. He's not going to just come in there and start doing this crazy shit that just throws Floyd Mayweather off. Listen, could they get into a wild exchange and Floyd get caught on his chin? Absolutely. But I don't think it'll be because Conor's fucking footwork is so great that he just starts fucking peppering Floyd up from awkward angles. I just don't see that, if I'm being fucking honest here.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. Also, a part of this fight, they've actually named the judges and the ref. The ref is going to be Robert Byrd, who is actually a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Fame referee. He hasn't refed any MMA matches whatsoever, any MMA fights. He is a boxing ref, obviously, so he's got that kind of thing. But I know they wanted someone that has some kind of MMA experience, which doesn't make sense to me because it's not an MMA fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's stupid.
It sounds stupid to me too. That's right. Burt Clements, Dave Moretti, and Guido Cavallari are the judges for that.
Oh shit! There's a judge named Guido.
Guido. Did I say that right or wrong?
I don't know, but if his name's pronounced Guido, we can pack it in, boy.
It's just getting crazy. All right. As far as Mayweather McGregor, not a lot, but we're a week out. We're a week out. Where Brendan Schaub is like fucking gagging on Conor's nuts, and anybody that's talking boxing, fucking who's this? Max Kellerman on ESPN and on HBO, constantly going off on saying Mayweather's gonna destroy him. It's gonna be a weird end, like last week, right? The rest of this week and the entire next week is gonna be weird as far as the promotion goes. It might even get more ridiculous than it already is. But
sure, I'm sure things will ratchet up a bit.
Yeah. So, either one of you guys buying the fight, or are you gonna go somewhere and watch it?
I'm gonna go somewhere.
I'm buying it. I'm buying it.
All right. I'm gonna try
I'll probably have a house full.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think I'm gonna go to my buddy's house. He's gonna buy it. We're all just gonna throw down some money. That way we have.
Yeah, they come out of the woodwork for these big events like that. People that they never watched the fight in their life, like, yo, you getting that Floyd Mayweather fight? Cool. You mind if I come through and give you like $10? It's like, yeah, man, I'm gonna get it regardless. So come on with it. Save me a little money.
It's $100 HD, I believe. Yeah, $100 HD.
I love that they say that $100 HD. Who the fuck gets SD anymore?
Oh, exactly.
Do they even make standard definition TVs anymore? The big bubble TV that's made of glass and shit. Get the fuck out of here. Charge us like fucking $80 or fucking $40. Cocksucking cable companies. That's why people be streaming on y'all's bitch asses, because y'all are too expensive. You're being greedy. We're going to give you some money. Stop being greedy.
You can actually buy the pay-per-view on UFC.com, I'm pretty sure, as I've seen on there. So, I guess UFC.tv, you could
yeah, you know what? Let me send a word out to the UFC. If you cute little pricks were charging $90, I'd come to you. Since you're charging $100, go fuck yourselves. Why would I come to you? I just ordered on the cocksucking pay-per-view on the TV.
There you go.
I seen Conor on Twitter. Come to the UFC.com and order me fight. Well, why the fuck would I do that, Conor?
Or you guys could go to a theater near you and pay $40 for that. That's a good one, right?
It's $40.
That would be interesting. I wouldn't do it, but the concept is kind of cool. The live energy might be kind of cool.
Don't do it. It's not worth it. I've done it for GSP fights because that's the ones where the UFC had them before. It's not worth it. Unless you go to a theater that serves you booze, it's not worth it.
Yeah. Go to a theater that's fucking half black, half Irish, and serves whiskey. Let's have some goddamn fun.
Yeah, for sure. DQ says he's going to go somewhere to watch it. Gunda says, I ain't buying it. I'll follow it on Twitter. And then DQ says, maybe I'll watch on Periscope. Oh, by the way, Gunda says his grandmother has an SD TV. So he got you on that one.
Yeah, no, he didn't get shit. His grandma. Exactly. I rephrased my question. Who under 75 has an SD fucking TV?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. All right, as far as this fight goes, again, it's the usual stuff. It's everything that's coming out just for promotion. So let's talk about some MMA. Not a lot going on.
Hold on. Let me ask you two pricks a question before we jump off this Conor thing. I talked about this with my homie Kyle on a podcast I did Sunday, and I think it's an interesting question as far as this whole Conor thing goes. And it'll probably be a nice segue into your next topic. I'm assuming that your next topic was going to be Kevin Lee and Tony Ferguson. They might have booked that fight for the interim belt.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me ask you guys this. Conor has been training for Floyd for quite a while now. Let me ask you this. Win, lose, or draw, Conor's definitely coming back to MMA after this. His manager said it. There's a lot of people that have stated his next fight will be a mixed martial arts fight. And more than likely, it's looking like now it'll be the winner of the newly made Kevin Lee versus Tony Ferguson fight. Now, we'll talk about that fight in just a moment. What I want to know from you guys is, regardless of who wins that fight, how does Conor look after this fight? Because he has spent so much time training only his boxing. And now that we know what the fight will be, so two-part question. A, how do you think his MMA game looks after focusing on nothing but boxing for so long? And B, who do you think is the better fight for Conor between Kevin Lee and Tony Ferguson at this point? Jesse, you go first.
Oh, goddamn. Honestly, I'm going to say that his MMA game all around is going to look about the same, maybe worse in the sense that I think at the point where we left him off in MMA, he had improved his takedown defense, right, to a certain point. And I think now that he's gotten away from that for so long, I think now that's going to hurt him even more, because now he's so far removed from that that I think the worst matchup is Kevin Lee for him, honestly, because Kevin Lee has a really, really good way of getting people down. He's really aggressive with it. So I think his better matchup, quote unquote, better would be Tony Ferguson, because Tony Ferguson, although he's great on the ground, he likes to throw down. He likes to get nasty. He likes to throw them hams on each other, right? He likes to get in these fist fights. So I think that would actually work in Conor's favor. But yeah, all around, I think his MMA game would probably suffer, unless if I'm Conor, I'd probably take this fight and then this P thing and not come back until like a year later. Just get everything, back on, a good wrestling program, a good jiu-jitsu program. Just get everything nice and back, into the fluid of what MMA is really about, and then finally take a fight. Because if he comes right back after a boxing match, I think it's just he's going to suffer, and he's probably going to end up getting really hurt, really bad in his next fight.
Really, here's the thing. I don't think we're going to see too much of a change in Conor's game. You know what I mean? I know he focuses on boxing and everything. That's great, but I mean, look, he fights Mayweather in a week. He's going to get a decent time off, right? He's not just going to start fighting MMA right away. Now, again,
hey, they said he was going to get a fight in before the end of the year. I don't know how realistic that is, but that's the rumor.
I don't think it's that realistic, man, especially not if he gets hurt in this fight. You know what I mean? If he gets hurt in this fight, you can forget about Conor until January, or not until like February or so. You know what I mean? Let's just say he does fight before the end of the year. I like the Kevin Lee fight better. Way better. And I don't think we see Conor lose too much of his game. And the only reason I want to see him against Kevin Lee is because Kevin Lee is this big, strong dude, right? I mean, I know you guys tell me you agree Kevin Lee's probably stronger than Tony Ferguson?
Probably. I mean, that it's hard to say, but yeah, more than likely, one would imagine between those two. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Conor against Ferguson. That'd be fun for me. But to me, it would be, can Tony get into the ground and can he take advantage of that, right? Besides, Tony does like funky shit. He just flips and shit. He's almost like trying to be like old school Pettis, if that makes sense. So, I like the Kevin Lee fight better, man. They'll stand up. There'll be a lot of talk back and forth. Kevin Lee was like, I'm not trying to be Conor McGregor while trying to be Conor McGregor. So you can imagine the shit talk coming from Conor McGregor about that. I would laugh my ass off. Like, it'd be fucking great as far as that goes. Fight itself, I'd like to see Lee. Now, Lee could win that, but it's just hard to bet against Conor in MMA.
Okay, so first things first. Pains me to say this, but I agree with Jesus. I think so. First, here, I think that Conor's MMA game actually will suffer quite greatly. I don't know if that might be a bit dramatic. Maybe not greatly. Listen, I don't think he's been doing any grappling, like at all, zero, and that's where he needs to be focused. He's always been good with his hands. That's always been his bread and butter. So he has had time to sharpen his sharpest tool, the sharpest tool he already had. Now, in comparison to these fights, I think that's horrible for Tony Ferguson because of the way he fights, because he thinks that he has this awkward, goofy head movement, and Conor's boxing is going to be at an all-time fucking high coming off of that fight. Even if he loses to Floyd, he's still going to, them hands are going to be crisp as fuck. So, listen, I think that it'll actually matter a lot as far as getting his MMA game back in shape. I think, training only one discipline solely for, 3 to 6 months is going to be pretty detrimental to his wrestling and BJJ game. Obviously he'll get it back, but these are things you got to stick with, man. Even fucking Damian Maia talked about how his BJJ used to lack because he got too obsessed with his striking. He had to go back and start making a conscious effort to train BJJ because he wasn't, what I'm saying? You can't just forget about it because you're great at it. Conor's forgetting about the shit that he was never great at to begin with. Now, his takedown defense has been nice and whatnot, but that's because his whole world revolved around MMA. He probably hasn't stuffed the takedown in a month of fucking Sundays at this point. So, that being said, I think that Tony Ferguson's the easier fight because of the way their styles match up.